Oh, another week, another episode.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Legofan 65's Childhood Inn. Now if you remember in the last episode, we talked about Thomas Gets Tricked and other stories. And so for today, I thought we'd talk about its successor. Alright, let's head over to the shelf.
Okay, so the successor for Thomas Gets Tricked is James Learns a Lesson and Other Thomas Adventures. Now unfortunately, I do not have the VHS release, so we just get to look at the DVD. Sorry! Okay, now if you remember in the Thomas Gets Tricked episode, before we took a look at it, we discussed over where did I first see it and how did I get it. Well, now it's time to talk about this one. Okay, so, unlike Thomas Gets Tricked, I actually remember the first time I saw James Learns a Lesson. So, it's 2008 and I'm in Chicago. I'm at the computer in the hotel room, and there's this British guy, I forgot the user's name, but he's showing his American Thomas and Friends DVDs, and in there is the pack Totally Thomas Volume 9 that comes with Thomas's Trusty Friends, Thomas Comes to Breakfast, and James Learns a Lesson, which is the one that we're looking at today. Oh, and Thomas's Trusty Friends and Thomas Comes to Breakfast, we will cover them in future episodes. Don't you worry. Now when I first saw this release on this video, I'm like, holy crap! I need to get this release because, I was a little kid because, I had to have it. Okay, so I remember the YouTuber listing down the episodes for James Learns a Lesson. And I remember being excited when I heard that one of the episodes was Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. And I was like, oh yeah, that is going to be fun. Because Thomas and Bertie's Great Race is a very nostalgic episode for me. One of the first Thomas episodes I ever watched, actually. And I have been a huge fan of watching TV characters race each other because I remember meeting up with this friend at elementary school during recess, and we would race each other around the playground, seeing how fast we would go. Sometimes I'd win, sometimes he would win. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Okay, so now we've talked about where did I first see this release, it's time to now talk about how did I get it.
Okay, so it's summer 2010. I am with my family after coming back from the movie theater after seeing the travesty of Misty Island Rescue. And a lot of Thomas and Friends fans agree with me on this, that it's one of the worst Thomas movies ever made. But after the season 25 reboot arrives on TV, I can imagine a lot of Thomas and Friends going towards Misty Island Rescue thinking that it's heaven. And they're going to be like, oh, Misty Island Rescue, we're sorry that we've hated you for the past 11 years. No, seriously, this year in 2021, it would be the 11th anniversary since it came out. Anyway, back to the main story. So, we're in Target, and we go to the Thomas and Friends DVD section. And there stands the same exact DVD pack from the British YouTuber, Totally Thomas Volume 9, that has Thomas's Trusty Friends, Thomas Comes to Breakfast, and James Learns a Lesson. And I ask my mother and father, hey, can I get this again? They say yes, so yay! Okay, now it's time to talk about what's on the release. Let's head over to the player. Let's do this thing! Okay, so on this release, we have the next 7 episodes of the show, all narrated by Ringo Starr. We have James Learns a Lesson, Boomish Freight Cars, A Proud Day for James, Thomas and the Conductor, Thomas Goes Fishing, Terrence the Tractor, and Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. So what's my favorite episode on the release? Seriously? Do I have to say this again? Fine. It's Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. As I already mentioned earlier in the video, I was excited when the British YouTuber mentioned that this episode was going to be on the release, and that Thomas and Bertie's Great Race is very nostalgic to me. Terrence the Tractor is also nostalgic, but not as much as Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. So what's my least favorite episode on the release? It is by far Thomas Goes Fishing. But, however, I did enjoy reading the Level 1 book as a kid. So, in the episode, Thomas wants to fish in the river, and his driver tells him no. But later, when Thomas is thirsty and the water tower is out of order, his driver takes him to the river to get water, and he puts fish into Thomas's tank by accident. And now for the bonus features on the release. We have a character gallery, a sing-along song called Thomas's Anthem, which is actually the very first song created in the franchise, and an advertisement for a website about Thomas and Friends that doesn't even exist anymore. Seriously? No game? As I mentioned in the last episode, I judged Thomas and Friends releases if they had a game or not. This one didn't, so that was a shame for me.
Okay, after all that being said, would I recommend this release for your kids? Yeah, I would recommend it, but I would suggest you get Thomas Gets Tricked first. And for kids who love games so much, I'm sorry to say that this release does not have a game for kids. So, yeah, overall, it's an average release. Not the best. It could have been a little better, but other than that, I would recommend this release. Anyway, before I end this episode, there's this YouTuber named Trevor Davis, who I chat with very often through his YouTube channel. He's given loads of hearts to my comments I sent him, and I'm returning the favor to him. And I asked if he would love to see more episodes like this in the future, and he said yes. So, shout out to Trevor Davis. Anyway, that wraps up the second episode of Legofan 65's Childhood Inn. Our next episode will be on A Big Day for Thomas. Okay, so tune in next week for that episode. Anyway, good night, everybody.